Good day, Facebook. This is Belive in 5 with myself and Tina. Hello, Tina.
Hello, Stephen. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. We've got a busy weekend ahead, twinning weekend, visitors from France and Germany, so I'm looking forward to that.
Well,
And today, sorry.
But I know we're going to get into Belive, but you mentioned twinning weekend, and for those of us, or at least myself, and I assume a lot of people in the U.S., we don't know what that means. What's twinning week mean?
Right. After the Second World War, it was decided that it would be ideal if the peoples of one country got to know the peoples of another country well. So twinning started with towns in France and Germany connecting up with towns in the UK. Now, back in 1967, 50 years ago, Devizes were twinned with Mayenne in France, which is northern France, and Weiblingen in Germany, and that's near Stuttgart. And every year, each town takes it in turn to visit the other. And rather than staying in hotels, which you might as well not bother, you actually stay in each other's houses. So you have a guest from Friday night through to Monday morning, and there's a program of events, some of which are organised, some of which are free, and you entertain each other all over the weekend, going to various locations throughout the town. And this year it's the Devizes one, and we've got a whole range of events organised for that. And I want to say hello to Damon. We're with you in a moment. Good to see you. And we've got events arranged from Saturday morning through to Monday morning. So a hectic weekend. It's people from France and Germany visiting England. It's been going for over 50 years, and thousands of people have taken part. And it's basically friends, lifelong friends. And twinning has helped bring the countries together and the people together. And Devizes is one of several hundred towns in the UK which actually twinned with European towns. Thank you for that.
That's a really cool tradition. I love that.
Yeah, it's just works. I mean, I moved to Devizes 5.5 years ago, and I was so taken by it. Angelica was already involved because she's the translator. She translates from German to English and English to German. So that's how I got involved. Right, okay, and to the show. Now, what we're doing, and I just want to say, hey to Robert, and welcome our first guest on the show. And 3, 2, 1, you get a countdown, Damon, and that brings you into the room. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Welcome.
Right.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
We are on Facebook, and we're going into the Belivers group and onto the page. Now, this is a very personal session. We're here as your friends to help you go live. Now, you've obviously got your camera and microphone sorted because we can hear you and see you.
Well, that's good so far. I also have, I'm on my MacBook Pro, and I also have a Logitech camera plugged in, but when I hit the gear thing, it just said camera 1 and camera 2, so I didn't know which one was which.
All right, that's
interesting. Mine actually says what type of camera it is. Mine says Logitech, or in this case right now I'm using my HP, and so it actually says HP built in or Logitech C920. So I've never seen it say camera 1 and camera 2 before.
Yeah, I think it also said microphone 1 and microphone 2.
So whichever one you selected, it's the other one.
It's the other one.
I mean, the cameras and the microphones are actually labelled by the operating system, either Windows or Mac OS, and that's where the problem starts. If they don't have their labels right, then Belive won't see them correct. Now, I know you're not the first to have this problem. So if we have a look in the Belivers group afterwards, we might find some answers to it. But as Tina said, if it's not one, it's got to be the other. But,
I follow that logic, yes.
Right. Now, as we're going through this, you'll notice that we're able to display comments on the screen. These are comments that the people are making on Facebook. And hello to Robert, hello to Corinda, and Corinda's talking to Tina.
Hi, Corinda.
And Roy as well. So we've got quite a few people watching. Now, have you done, going through our checklist of things, a speed test? Do you know what speed you have, Damon?
I don't know, but it's good.
It's good. All right. Well, the phrase "it's good," I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. Right. Okay. Right. Well, the next thing we can do is to take you through. Have you created your own show yet?
No, I haven't. I've been sort of contemplating it and letting it evolve in my mind. Yeah, so that was a question I had. Where's a good place to kind of discuss that? Would that be in the main Belive group?
No, we can help you go live now if you wish.
Well, I know you can help me go live. I'm just wondering about the concept for the show before I go live.
All right. Okay. So, what sort of thing are you thinking about?
Excuse me. Well, I work with changing how people feel and what they believe and so on. And so I have a program I'm developing that I'm tentatively have titled Crush Your Entrepreneurial Fears. And so the program would be the Belive show would be that I do that online with people to a certain depth, only to a certain depth. And what should be my show concept? So on these comments, they flash up down below, and then I see them above. Are these only the ones that you select that I see? I don't see all of them.
You don't? No, I'm selecting them. You'll see them fly up your. Sorry, Tina.
I was going to say the ones that you see below are actually as they come in. So as the person posts them, you'll see them pop up below. If a lot of people are posting at once, you won't see everything. And then the ones you're seeing at the top of your screen are the ones that Stephen is selecting to show on screen. So those are actually the only ones that show up on screen for our audience.
Okay. All right. So I just did speed test while we were talking. My upload speed is 7.38 megabits. Good.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Right. No problems, as you said.
Yeah. Okay, so my show concept is to actually work with people. I have kind of a new technology of personal change, which is based on neuroscience and a lot of other things that I've studied, including tapping, EFT. I did that for 10 years, and this takes it another stage beyond. So the idea is to call it the Procrastination Club. And I know either nobody will join or people will be attracted who have a particular project and they're stuck on it and they want to get through it. That's the premise of the show.
Yeah, I'll probably catch the replay. I'm sorry for the joke.
Yes.
I'll join.
But I would join you on the show, being honest. Yeah, I think that there is. I mean, I have friends who procrastinators or helping people who do procrastinate, and it's a great medium to get the message across. I mean, I'm based in the UK, so my go-to person in the UK would be a lady who wrote the book Time Management for Dummies, and she is. If you're procrastinating, Claire is the one to, I'm going to say, kick you or something or other, but actually get you into gear and get you doing something. So it's along those lines that you're thinking, Damon.
Well, something like that, except I take a different approach from time management. I'm actually, what I do actually rewires your brain so that if you're procrastinating, it means you want to do something, but you don't want to do it at the same time, right? So you have an inner conflict. So doing nothing is the quote unquote solution, right? So that's the level I approach it on. So what is the thing, what are you afraid of, or what's holding you back, or what bad consequences would there be if you did it? And so we rewire that, because a lot of that is just learned reactions, and my work can handle that.
And Belive, and I think you're right, you're on track. I think you're doing what you are going to be teaching your clients not to do, and that's procrastinating and putting it off because you're not quite 100% comfortable with the platform yet. But this is a great platform for your audience for a couple of reasons. Just because it's really easy, it's much faster to put this together than it is to write blog posts and to create other types of content. Live is easier. It's also going to appeal to the people that are your audience because it is immediate, and so they just have to click and listen. They don't have to do anything else, so they don't have anything to procrastinate about. They just watch.
Right, just show up, and everybody will get results if they follow the directions. Everybody who's watching too.
And there are.
I'm actually not procrastinating. I'm learning, and that's okay.
That's fine. But you're not comfortable yet to go. But it really is. You just have to do it. It's one of those things that you just learn by doing it, and you'll get better and better at it, especially the production end of it, because you do have to produce your own show. You have to bring up the comments, and you have to create the agenda and put the lower thirds on. And so that kind of is just a skill set that you develop the more that you do it.
I can see that. That's just
and even as long as I've been doing it, and Stephen's been doing it longer than I have, sometimes we'll put somebody on solo on the screen and forget to take them off solo after we start talking. And so they're sitting there on the screen and we're talking, and it doesn't make sense to the people watching. And so that happens to everyone.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of coaches and trainers and people in various fields that are doing exactly what you're talking about doing. And that's, they go live regularly. That's the important thing, is to do it consistently. So make the decision of when you're going to do it and be consistent with that. But they're giving value, but only to a certain depth. And then they lead them to their sales funnels, into their paid groups or whatever, however you're going to handle, the deeper dive kind of thing. So, yeah.
which brings us neatly. Now, when you're doing a show, the easiest thing is to do it around 3 or 4 points, because you don't want anything too complicated. Because the audience are going to take 1 or 2 messages away, aren't they?
Yeah.
And that's what you want to concentrate on. Now, the agenda, which is on the right-hand side of my screen, is where I can put in my bullet points. Yeah. Right. So in the agenda, first thing you do, you create the show, and the show doesn't go live until you're ready. So you can create it today and say, right, I'm going to go live next Friday. Yep. I'm going to take the week to
schedule it either. I think that's something that confuses. I'm sorry, Stephen, but this just reminded me, because someone mentioned this to me the other day. They thought that they had to schedule the show for a specific time in order to go in and, set it up and do the agenda. And that's not true. You can go in and set everything up and not go live and not schedule it, and it'll still be there. So when you go back in, when you log back in, you'll have a list of all the shows that you've done and that you've created, and it's still there. So the agenda and everything you've done is there and ready for you to go live, which is good if you're not quite sure what date and time you're wanting to go live. You can still go ahead and set up your agenda and bullet points and all of that.
Any questions that you have, Damon, about the structuring the show? Or?
Well, I went through your Udemy course, which is great. Thank you. And I also saw a post with a whole bunch of tutorial videos, and I went through most of those, some of which were before the new features were added in. So I think I don't really have any questions about the technology yet, not that I'm aware of. I haven't run into any problems. We haven't done it. One thing I'm just noticing for a suggestion for Belive is to be able to put your pictures right up at the top, right near the camera, because the way it is, I can squish the screen up, but you're still like 1.5 inches below the camera, which means I'm looking down. I'm not looking into the camera. And I've found on Zoom that if I put the pictures up right underneath the camera, it looks like I'm looking into the camera, even though I'm looking at the person. So being able to do that would be a nice, make better connection, I think, between the presenter and the audience.
Yeah, and I think most people just train themselves to look at the camera and not look at you, because they realize when they watch the playback that although they're looking at you, like I'm looking at you right now on the screen, but to the audience and everyone else that's watching, it looks like I'm working on my computer and completely ignoring my guests or them, because I'm not looking at the camera. So just train yourself to look at the camera, and it's okay to look down every now and then to look at your bullet points or to pull up your screen share or whatever. but you just get in the habit of looking at the screen. And even if we move the images up to the top, the problem is the more features that are added to this, you're still going to be drawn back down to this to handle your production. So you have to get in the habit of looking back at the camera, I think. So
apparently that's
Lear did say there's a new redesign coming, so it could be that that's going to be something that they do is pull it up closer to the top.
Cool. All right, these guys seem to be on it.
So one of the things that you can do, since you're pretty comfortable with the mechanics side of it, if you want to go live, you can set it so that you're the only person that can see it, just like you can with any of your Facebook posts. If you go, like if it's public, then it'll have like a little globe beside it. If you click on that, you can select who gets to see it. So you can select just your friends or even just me, just yourself.
Yeah.
And so if you go live, or you can send it to a private group that you create that nobody else is in, and that way you can see yourself on camera and critique yourself. And catch yourself doing stuff like I didn't do that. I just went live on everybody else's shows, which is another great way to get comfortable. Yeah. So just go on. When people say you want to, here's the link, join me, join them, even if you don't know them. Just go on. It helps you get comfortable. But I found that I say right a lot, so I'll finish a sentence with right. And so I try really, really hard, and I don't try. I am not doing that.
Because you're right?
That's right. So you'll find little things that you do, or you may find something even in your background that you didn't realize was there. Like there's a picture with a big glare on it or something.
The elephant behind me.
There's a little bit of glare on there, but it's not like interfering with the image. But so yeah, I mean, just go live with other people, or go live to a private group, or make the post itself private, and then you can get somebody that that you trust and that you like to come on just to practice with, and then. Then you'll get comfortable with not only making sure that you're catching any of those little things that you want to stop doing, but you also get comfortable with using the controls. And that's the only way to get comfortable with that, is just to do it. There's no other way. Yeah,
right. I understand that. What do you think about how to relate to a Facebook group with this? Like I could do public Belives, and then I could have a Facebook group where I give a little more information and so on. So do people do that? They like invite viewers to join the Facebook group?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's actually people who have pay gateways to their groups. And so in order to join the group, you actually have to pay to be a part of that group. So there's a lot of options for you with using groups, but absolutely people are doing it already. So
you'd send them through some kind of a funnel for that.
Right.
Yeah.
And just keep in mind, when you send things to a private group, that they're the only ones that see it. So if you're doing it live on your business page, then you can share it into your group, and more people will see it. And that, of course, that depends on what your goal is. If you want more people to see it, or if this is kind of a deeper dive specifically for this group, that you're then either a free group or a paid group. It could be a free group, because people do that. They'll create a free group, and they'll give a little bit more than they gave in their public talk, but they still aren't doing the full-on coaching or anything. They'll use that group, because that group, right, is kind of a better lead, because they've made the decision to join your group. Right. And so you can go a little bit deeper there, and then those will be better leads for going further into whatever you're offering.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Well, we hope we were helpful.
Yeah, that is helpful. The only thing I have a concern about is not Belive. As you say, I'll just practice and learn that. But yeah, there's a certain level of understanding people have to benefit from what I do. So it's kind of an on ramp. So I'm just kind of wondering how to deliver that in this format.
Yeah,
that's my problem.
I know that something that people do are focus groups, and they'll do this in a group. So then they're using that focus group to practice and to figure out the best way to deliver, and which is your question. And just make sure that in that focus group that you have people who are going to be actively engaged and giving you the kind of feedback that you need to get to where you need to be to then go public with that. So that's another option for kind of finessing that.
So how do people create those focus groups?
They just create a Facebook group and make it secret. So you can make a Facebook group. You can have an open group, a closed group, a private group, or a secret group. The secret group is not seen by anyone. So if anybody searches or anything, it doesn't show up at all. The only way someone can find it is as if you invite them. And so if you have, perhaps you have some people that you've worked with in the past that you could use as a focus group.
Okay, so you can invite people to that. Yeah.
Right.
Cool. All right. Well, that answers all my questions, I think.
Awesome.
All the ones you guys can answer. I have some of my own that I have to answer.
Right. Well, thank you. We appreciate it, and thank you for taking the course. And,
oh yeah, thank you for taking the course.
Oh, well.
We've found in creating the course, that's the basis for the shows that we're doing now and the group. And we've tried out a sort of a group session. So we're always experimenting. I think that's the way to be. And the same with a new show, is just trying different ways of doing it. The only thing you can do is you don't get any viewers. That's the worst that can happen. So everything after that is upward and on the right trend. And, you know, if you can get your enjoyment of the topic across as well, I think that's key. Because
we should say that you don't expect to have 50 or 60 live viewers in the beginning. And that's just not going to happen. You get most of your views, 2/3 of your views will come on replay. And so people get a little panicked when they only see like 1 or 2 live viewers. But then when they're finished with the show, they'll realize that over the course of the 45 minutes that they were on, they actually had 273 viewers. They just weren't on at the same time. So don't panic about that. Just keep going.
And that's one of the best reasons to go. The temptation is that you've got hundreds of friends, and if you go live on your personal profile, they will watch. Well, the odds are that if you've got 200 friends, 2 will see it. First point, only 1% of your friends will see. It's a bit like tweeting, really. Only 1 to 2% of people see every tweet that you actually send out. So you've got to think in terms of you're building an audience. We didn't ask. Do you have an audience tucked away somewhere, or are you starting from scratch?
Not totally from scratch. I'm not completely unknown. And you know, I could post things in various groups and probably get some people from there. Right.
Okay. So starting from that point where you already have you're known with a reputation, that I would say that the best way to do it is to actually go live from a business page.
Yeah.
Because then, as Tina says, you actually get more information that way. You'll find out how many people watched the video, how many people watched it for 10 seconds, what the viewer looked like during the show and where it goes up, and more importantly, where it comes down to do.
Is that it graphs all that?
Oh, well, it's got everything. It's improving day by day, and the information that Facebook are giving on a business page in terms of a show is just totally amazing. I mean, I know today that we'll know where our top audience is. We'll know where in the world it is. We'll know how many how many minutes people watched in total, how many they watched on average. We'll know the age range. Yeah. So you get a whole lot of stats and demographics about every single video post that you do, which is gold dust.
But you only get that if you go live to a business page. You don't get that if you're going live to a personal page or to a group yet. Now, my understanding is that stats may be coming to groups as well, which will be wonderful.
Right.
You go live, and even if you feel like the video didn't perform as well as you'd hope, if you go and look at your overall stats and compare that live post to the other posts that you've done, more than likely it's going to have performed better than anything else that you've done. And that's just because people prefer live content and Facebook favors live content. So Facebook is actually pushing your live out to more people than it is your other types of posts. And so you'll probably be surprised at your reach with this and your engagement. The engagement's always better on live. It's better on video than it is on photos. It's better on photos than it is text, and it's better on live than it is anything else.
Right. So that brings up one more question. What happens to these after you create them?
After you've created the show, the recording is on Facebook. You can go into videos and you've got a download option. you can then download it. Now, the thing Tina and I were just talking about before we came on air, and we do download the videos, is that they are not HD quality. So if you're thinking of repurposing, they are good to repurpose, but if you're actually sort of, as we do, create Udemy courses with them, then there can be, well, it's not HD, simple as. I mean, there was a time when Facebook video was HD, and that was wonderful. But then somebody must have said, this is costing us some money, and if millions of people start using it, our storage is going to, expand at a rate, because the number of people using my video is going up exponentially. Mm-hmm. So Facebook, I can't see HD coming back on Facebook, but the thing is that you can download it, you can edit the video, you can then repurpose it to YouTube.
You can come and watch our show. Stephen and I do another show on Tuesdays called Repurposing, and it's all about how to repurpose your live content. So find us and check that out, and you'll get lots of ideas on how to repurpose and also how to automate some of that, which will save you lots of time. So
that's always good. So the idea of maybe that would be a value of joining the Facebook group is that past shows could be in there.
Oh yes, surely all your shows will be in there. In fact, on that note, if you take a look at the program, I'm going to put the program name up.
And as Roy says, I do have ScreenFlow, so I could record it simultaneously.
Yes, you can. And then you have the HD quality available to you to repurpose in other places.
Would I need two computers to do that? One to be doing the production and one to be recording the show?
It would probably be best if you could, because one of the problems that you have with going live is if you have anything else running on your computer, it really affects the broadcast. It slows it down, and you'll get the pixelation and stuff happening. So if that's an option, that's better. Yeah.
Yeah, it just seems like, if I've got all the production, what am I recording? I don't want to record all that and show it.
Yeah, you can record you would just open up where you're recording it on, where it's broadcasting to on Facebook and record it that way with your other computer. You can do it from here. People do it depending on your machine. If you have a good machine, if you have a Mac, which I know you do because you just told us you do, you're probably going to be okay with running that in the background. If you haven't, a 2009 HP, probably not. It's probably going to use too many resources and bog down your system. So it just depends on the machine that you're using. But you can try it. That's probably the best advice that I can give you about live is just try, because the truth is this is so new to everyone. You may find out something we don't know, and then you can come on here and share it with us.
Indeed. We're finding out new things all the time. And just to go through a few comments while we catch our breath.
Yeah, what did Roy just say? You can record for the whole thing.
Roy, hang on just a minute. So I'm trying to find the right comment. We'll slow down for a moment because I wish I could see it.
Have you lost it?
I do lose it sometimes. It has to be said. So Roy's suggesting you add your videos to your YouTube channel, and he records from his desktop in HD, and you set 2 machines is the way to go. And Drew thinks that Premium will come back on Facebook as an option only, and LCB is saying that she downloads and edits her videos and then publishes them on YouTube. And YouTube market is different from the Facebook market, and that's perhaps another show we could do, Tina, but not today.
I'm sure.
Roy's disagreeing with somebody. I'm not sure who.
He was with me when I said do it from a separate computer. And one of the reasons I say that, and Roy, you can answer this because I've not done this. So if you're recording from your computer, aren't you recording the back end because you're the producer rather than what the audience is seeing?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. You would have to have the Facebook page open. You'd have to be recording that. One of the things that you can do, obviously, is that the playback on Facebook is still HD. It's the download that's not. Right. So after the show, you can use Camtasia all it's like, and you can record the replay and just turn the machine sound on so that the sound is there, and you'll get a good replay. But we should explore that some more.
Screen flow, which you can do that too, and you can record with the new version. You can record just a particular area of the screen.
Just that part of the screen.
Yep. Brilliant. Yeah.
So I'm a train of thought just went right out of my head.
It's okay. Whilst you're talking about that, thinking about that, Tina, a thought came into my head earlier, and we're talking about going on your page and saving it in groups. Okay. Which is the point that you made, and we said you do the page for stats and the group for storage, yeah?
Right.
Yeah.
Edmund, yeah. There is a program. We're now live, but we're live on the Belive in 5 Facebook page. We're live in the Belivers group. We're live in the LVS 17 group. We're live on my personal page, and we're live in the group as well. Same show, being played at the same time. And I haven't done a thing. I've not pressed the share button. I've been here since the show started. There's a program called Live Leap. Okay.
I actually have Live Leap. I've just never used it.
Well, I've just given you 5 reasons to use it then, because it actually does what it says on the tin, insofar as it will share your live show out across Facebook. It will send out a tweet that you've gone live. It will post to your WordPress blog. It will post to your, or send an email to your mailing list, a whole range of wonderful things. And I've got it working on 6 of the shows that I do every week, and it just happens automatically. Yeah. So therefore, the video appears to be on the Belive in 5 page, but it's also already in the group. Yeah. And if you're the admin of the group, then that's all you need to be to actually do it.
Well, then I should put out a plug for my show, shouldn't I?
You should now, yeah.
Yes. That's the brilliant thing about going live on other people's shows too. It helps you get your feet wet and get comfortable with being on camera and talking, but it also gives you an opportunity to get known, so people will come and find you, because we will. That's how most of us here stayed, Stephen and I included, and the people in the audience. We met each other because we were either guests on another Belive show, not our own, or we were in the comments participating in a live show, and so we've all become friends. I know every single person that's commenting, and that's why they know what I do, and I know what they do and where to find them. So absolutely, plug your show.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I really am liking about Belive over other options too, is the community. You know, it's really active, supportive, engaged group of people like you guys. Yeah, so my show is going to be called the Procrastinators Club. I'm Damon Sweeney, D-A-I-M-O-N, Sweeney. So just look for it. And if it's going to be about actually getting you through blocks. It's for online entrepreneurs as the core audience. And then anybody else, writers, creators of any kind, who have a project that they're stuck on at any stage. That's what we're going to work on the show, and everybody who's there will benefit. I just have to figure out how to deliver the knowledge of how to benefit. But I've done a lot of workshops, and I can bring it down to this format, I'm pretty sure.
Well, and we actually do. We used to be live for workshops. We did a continuing legal education session recently in Nashville, Tennessee, for a group of lawyers, and we had like maybe 5 people in the audience. We had 10,000 view it live. So you can absolutely take the content that you've developed for workshops and that kind of thing and translate it into live.
Yeah, great. Okay, well, I learned a lot here, so a bunch of new ideas. I hadn't brought in Live Leap, and and figuring out how to put it in, the thing about Facebook groups and so on. That's all good. Yeah.
And don't hesitate to post any kind of questions or anything in the Belivers group, because that really is one of the things that makes Belive stand out, is the community. Everyone is very helpful, and you will get responses to your questions there.
Yeah, and I'll probably try putting together a focus group there of people who don't know what I'm doing to see if it makes sense to them, because people already know that they don't need it.
Exactly. Trial it. Yeah. I mean, I'm giving you advice you've already given them to others, so that's cool.
That's okay. Yeah. I'm okay with repetition.
That's good. Right, and just to catch up with what's been going on whilst we've been chatting, which is wonderful. The beauty of FB over G Plus and YouTube is the fact that you've got pages and groups and personal profiles. Robert is saying Liveleap, and I'm going to say liveleap.com.
Someone asked if Liveleap was for Mac only.
Right. It basically is a service that runs in the cloud, so you can set it up from your Chrome browser or even your Safari browser. And basically, the way it works is this: you tell it, you give it your profile, your Facebook profile, and it knows from your profile which pages you own and which groups you admin. Yeah, it knows that because you're given permission to find that out. So you then said to it, okay, I want to go from the Belive in 5 page to the Belivers group. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to go to there. That's my first one. And then I want you to tweet it out. I want you to post it on LinkedIn. I want you to send it to my email list and another which I've forgotten. But that's the principle. You're connecting points. You're connecting the source with the destination. There can be one source and one destination, or there can be one source and 20 destinations. Depends how much you want to annoy people or repeat yourself. But it simply works. It simply works, and it's very good. So it works on Mac as well. And people are saying hello in the chat, which is brilliant. And happy Friday. I'm TGIF. It is Friday. It's even Friday in the UK.
Maybe Saturday somewhere else, though.
Well, it's
in Australia. Is it Saturday yet?
It's Saturday in Australia, yeah. And comment from Roy, Liveleap is in the cloud. It's a service. Give it your FB profile, and it will know more about your pages and groups. Tell it to start here, and then send it there.
So will it also post to YouTube?
Right. Okay. Now, Tina's mentioned Udemy courses before. I have a Udemy course about repurposing, and Tina and I have got a course about which you've done and which we're thankful for. But I've got a course about repurposing, and in that I include a program called Repurpose.io, which is what our show and tutor is based on. But I've also included some IFTTT recipes in there. Yeah, if this then that, and if this then that, the recipes in there will do almost anything you'd want to do. I use Repurpose to push everything from the 6 shows onto my YouTube channel, and then use IFT to push it across to WordPress and across to a Google spreadsheet and to upload it to Google Drive. A whole range of options are available.
Yeah, and also one of the things that you can do with repurposing.io is it will automatically strip out the audio, create a podcast for you. A podcast that's also a video that has a really nice image, and then it has the sound wave that goes across as the person speaking. So there's some kind of animation while you're sitting there and listening to that. But it does all that automatically. So once you set that up one time, you don't even have to log back into repurpose.io at all. It'll just keep doing it until you tell it to stop. And podcasting is a huge market. And for what you do, it may or may not translate well. I know you mentioned that you do tapping, so some things may require a visual.
Until they learn where the points are. Sorry, I'm just reaching it there.
But you can always send them. Just keep in mind if you're going to do something that's going to be translated into audio, that you may need to include a link or something that sends them to a video where they can see the visual aspect of it.
Yeah. So ifttt.com. Okay. So what's the difference between repurposing and IFTTT?
Right, repurposing. I'm glad you asked that question, Damon. Repurpose.io will take any Facebook Live video from any page or profile, and it will upload it to your YouTube channel. And the way I do it is this: the day after I finish the show, I go back and edit the post text when you do a post on Facebook, it says I'll be live in 20 minutes talking about this. Now, 2 days later, that's no longer true. 1 or 2 days later, so I go back and I edit it to be in the past tense. Yeah, I then check all the comments that have been made and say thank you for commenting and connect with any new people. Then finally, when I'm happy with the text and the picture that Facebook have chosen, I then put a tag in, which is hash repurpose. And as soon as I press save, repurpose.io sees it and sends it straight to YouTube, straight to SoundCloud, straight to Google Drive, straight to Dropbox, depending on the instructions that I've given. So, for argument's sake, it takes, and when I do 6 shows a week, I've got to download 6 videos. I've got to upload 6 videos to YouTube. I'm not going anywhere near SoundCloud, MP3s, Google Drive, Dropbox, or anything like that, or SoundCloud. So it's saving me 6 hours a week.
At least.
At least.
Yeah.
And the other thing to point out is that we know this technology is relatively new, and occasionally we all get videos on Facebook where the voice is out of sync with the picture, and there's nothing anybody can do about that. It just happens. So, but the thing is that if you're using something like repurpose.io, which is using the API to access the video, then you do tend to get a more consistent quality.
Yeah, and so than that is actually, you can use it as standalone to do various things, but Stephen is using it in addition to repurpose.io to make repurpose.io even more robust in its function, so that it allows it to do more things than it would do without using that recipes. So he's using those two in conjunction with one another. And you don't necessarily have to use all of these different things. So you don't have to use LiveLeap and repurpose.io and if this then that. Yeah. So just kind of figure out what your strategy is and where you're wanting to go with things. If you just want to push it from your profile page into Facebook groups and maybe send an email, then LiveLeap would work. If you just want to go from Facebook to YouTube and have a podcast available, then repurpose.io would be the best option for you. So just kind of figure out your strategy and what it is that you're wanting to do ahead of time, and then you'll have a better idea of which tools will work better for you.
Right, and then add in complexity as you can.
Yeah, that's it. Or as I would call it, it's actually freeing up your time, because live video, a great way to create content. But then if you want to use it further, then you've got to sort of decide, am I going to do it, or is it going to be done automatically?
Right.
But start simple and work from there, and you can't go far wrong.
Yeah. I'll do some shows. I'll put them in the lively, all the names are coming out, Belive together group. Get some people, get my format down, and then start publishing.
Yeah. Exactly, and that's what we all do. And sometimes we have show ideas that just completely bomb, and that's fine. There's not an audience for it, or it turns out that you didn't know as much as you thought you did, or you were trying to do comedy and you're not funny, or whatever. So you just let that go and do something else.
Yeah, move on.
Right. And the good thing is you've got a minimal investment, right? So you've got, basically your time is what you've invested. Not to say that that's not valuable, but you haven't spent $10,000 on a bunch of equipment and other things that then you can't use. So
yeah,
play with it and have fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
You're most welcome. It's been a pleasure talking, and we look forward to your broadcasts. And we've got a note of what you're going to be broadcasting about and where. So when you go live, before you go live, post a link in the Belivers group, and then everybody can find you. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Every day there's a slot that says post your shows here, post your show there, and we'll all find you and come and watch the show and cheer you on.
Yes.
Those who aren't procrastinating too much.
Yes, so you're guaranteed an audience if you post in the Belivers in the post of the day, because we all kind of go check those out and come and watch. Now we may watch on replay, but we may not see it when it goes live because we're working or whatever, but we almost always check out the shows that are posted there.
Cool. All right. Awesome.
Okay. All right. Take care, Darren.
Okay.
And we'll see you again soon. Bye.
Yeah.
Wow. Right. Okay. Now, the thing about doing a show like this, which is to remind everybody, this is Belive in 5 group tuition, is that we can share ideas with you all watching us and answer questions for somebody who actually joins us. And if you're watching in the Belivers group at the moment, I think we can say this worked. Don't you, Tina?
What?
It worked. It works.
Yeah.
The concept works.
Yes.
Sorry. Right. Okay. We'll be. It's a roundabout way of saying there'll be more shows for you to watch and join in for the Belive in 5 group tuition, and you can join us live on air. And Tina and I will work out a schedule. We'll have a chat with April and David and Bridgetti, and I think somebody's been helping us in the background today. So I'd like to say, I've got to say thank you to either Bridgetti or April. So shall we say thank you to both? And then we've covered it. Some comments that we missed. Drew, thank you for that. Repurposing is the key to, just a moment, give me a second. Oh, these comments are going so thick and fast, I'm struggling here. Repurposing is the key to claiming a ready and active audience. I've been repurposing both video and audio content for a few years now. Have we had Drew on the repurposing show?
No, we have not, but we need to.
I think we do.
We'd love for you to join us on repurposing on Tuesdays at 12 Eastern. So one of us will get in touch with you.
Indeed. And April has let it be known that our friend, Chief Technical Officer of Belive.tv has been watching. So I'm going to say hello to Safria. And in fact, everybody is taking the opportunity to say hello to Safria. And we're not surprised because Belive TV is just quite simply awesome. And thank you for the comment, Robert. Much appreciated. We enjoy doing this, and Belive helps us to do it quite effectively. And Elspie has a comment. I will give my right hand for a solution to my sound issues with Belive TV, but I'm no longer holding my breath. Safria, if you're still watching, Elspie is a friend. We've done shows together, and she has a sound problem. If she contacts support, well, no promises, but if you could contact support again, LCB, because we don't know of anybody who has persistent sound problems.
Well, April's had quite a bit of problem with syncing issues.
Yeah.
And so that's been something that's been ongoing with her. And so she gets it sorted out and it seems to be working fine. And then it kind of sneaks back in. And I'm not sure what it is, because usually I've noticed if I see a sync problem, it's usually because someone's using a third party to bring in, to bring in a camera that's not directly connected to this. So they're going through XSplit or something and bringing in a DSLR camera. Then I'll see that there's a syncing issue. And then, so we've done this before with County Buzz, and, we had to download a program that would delay the sound by a certain amount so that it then matched up, and it was just really a big headache. But I've noticed that more often in those types of situations and less so with people who are using like the Logitech camera. But April is using Logitech, and she's using the microphone like we all do, and she seems to be just struggling with that issue. So I don't know, like, it's really hard to troubleshoot those because you don't know if it's a hardware issue or if it's Facebook. So you just don't know.
Yeah. Right. And another comment from Elspie, which updates us on what's going on. Elspie has contacted support. Irene's responded on Elspie's page, and is trying to arrange a time they can get together. Now, Irene has just joined the Belive.tv as staff, and we know her very well. She's very diligent and very knowledgeable about Belive.tv, and the scheduling problems possibly come because she's actually based in the Philippines. So there's a window when we can reach out. So we'll have a chat. We'll mention it to Irene and so see if we can move that forward. And Drew, Tina and I look forward to having you on the repurposing show.
Absolutely.
Would be awesome. That's Tuesdays at 12 p.m. Eastern. Right, this has been what I don't know. Every time to get together on the show, whether it's repurposing or this Belive in 5 group, it just works, which is brilliant.
Yeah, and the show went a little bit different direction than when we anticipated. We came on, set up really to talk more about the mechanical side. Yeah. And so and we invited students and new users to come on and let us know what their problems were so that we could walk them through. Now, we were anticipating more of an issue with the mechanical side. And today, not to say that that's never the case, but today, that wasn't the issue. We had someone who was more looking toward mindset side of it, and so we were able to help with that as well. So whatever your problems are, come on the show and we'll help you the best that we can. And like I said before, Stephen, I think we've done such a good job with the free Udemy course that people have the mechanical side figured out because we showed them how to do it.
Well, we just to I just want this in the recording, so just excuse me for a moment. Sure. To say that the Udemy course is free, and if I can find a photograph, when you want to find something and it's like a needle in a haystack. Oh, good. Unless I've got it on screen, just a minute. Okay. For next week, I'll find it. But the Udemy course is free, and we love the comments that people make when they finish the course because it's absolutely brilliant when somebody volunteers a comment, which is both positive and helpful, and we're grateful for every comment that we've had, and we've got over 900 people on the course, and we're getting some brilliant feedback. So
well, and we know that in the Belivers group, if you're viewing this from the Belivers group, at the top of the page there are tutorials that have been developed by the Belive.tv group, and so those are there, and we know that Damon actually did the Udemy course plus watched all the tutorials, and so he's ready to go on the mechanical side of it. But it's been interesting because, like Stephen said, we have over 900 students in the Udemy course, and we know that many of those are not part of the Belivers group, and so we've been able to reach a new audience there to bring them to this wonderful platform.
True, it is like two separate audiences. But if all these people are actually trying out Belive TV, then it's a win-win-win. So it's Absolutely. All good.
Well, hopefully they'll find their way to the Belivers group as well. They certainly will if they make it to the Belive in 5 Facebook page, because we always let the folks there and in our student group know that the Belivers group is another group that they need to be taking part in. So,
right. Well, that's nearly an hour gone. In good company too. Darren was brilliant. He asked questions we never expected, and it was good to be challenged and to think on your feet. And
that's why we do this live stuff.
Yeah, true. Just fortunate that most of the time we know the answers. And we'd just like to say thank you to everyone who's been watching. If I forget your name or miss your name, then forgive me. Elsie, Drew, Robert, thank you very much. April, thank you for the help. Roy, thank you for the help as well, because it keeps us on our toes and it keeps us informed, which is brilliant.
And Carender, who's always here, in the audience and being supportive. Thank you.
Yeah, and I hope I've not forgotten then. But Robert C. Stern. Thank you, sir, and it's been our pleasure. What should we say? Shall we? Thank you,
yes,
everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. And Damon, thank you. We're happy that you found this helpful, and we're looking forward to your first show.
And we'll be back next week at the same time?
Indeed. Thank you.
I think we should be. Now, what we're going to do, obviously, is talk about this afterwards with our fellow mentors. And what you will see over the course of the next week or two is several shows with different hosts as our moderator. I keep trying to say moderators because we're moderators. And our mentors will pair up and run shows, and I know that David Burrows is eager to do that, and Bridgetti and April.
Yeah.
In better time zones.
I'm sorry, Stephen. As I said, the great thing about that is all of the mentors have different strengths. So even if you've caught the show today with Stephen and I, make sure that you watch whenever a new mentor is on, because they have different ideas and different strengths. And so you may garner something completely different from their show than you have from ours.
Correct. That's absolutely brilliant. I enjoyed this. So thank you for watching. We did brilliant. And we'll see you all again soon. Take care. So it's bye from me and bye from...
Bye-bye.
Bye. And goodbye.